All right, so this video was inspired by my good friend Mount Vernon Kid. Thank you, Chris. And this is actually a video I've always wanted to do, but after seeing Chris do this as his own vid, I decided, you know what? What the hell? What the hey? I am going to throw my hat in the ring and talk about this top 10 list. And that is top 10 friendships in comics. He used more of bromance, like just guys, but I'm going to have like male and female characters being friends as well. Because I think people forget how much, like, don't get me wrong, we all love like Spider-Man and Mary Jane or Clark Kent and Lois Lane, but, you know, it never hurts to have a good friendship to really, really pal around with. I think it's something that is like almost like a lost art in some cases. So today we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite friendships in comics. Now, as always, this is just my personal list, so if you think a friendship should be higher or lower on the list or not at all, that's totally fine. I got no problem with you. But this is just my personal opinion, so we're just going to talk about that. Starting off with number 10, and it's kind of a friendship that just is a recent one, but I really love. And that is the friendship of Big Barda and Cassandra Cain from Birds of Prey. I really love Kelly Thompson's Birds of Prey, and I really love the friendship that Barda and Cassandra have. The two of them basically start off as like Cassandra's just kicking the crap out of some people, and then Barda's like, I like this one. And then she just forms a bond with Cassandra because Barda sees like a true warrior in her and affectionately calls her Little Bat. And gets very protective of her. Like, it's almost like a pseudo mother-daughter relationship between Barda and Cain. And Cassandra really kind of like maternalizes Barda in some cases. So it's almost like, again, it's a friendship, but it's almost like a pseudo mother-daughter relationship between Barda and Cassandra. And I just think it's adorable. So yeah. Anyway, next up on the list is Ted Kord and Booster Gold. Blue and gold, people, because you have to have Booster and Ted and Booster on this list. The two of them were thick as thieves. Both of them were BFFs. Whenever Booster had like a get-rich-quick scheme or something, Ted was there to either be like the voice of reason or be like, oh, that's awesome, let's do it. They were like the two college friends who couldn't stop being friends. Like, no matter what, the two of them were like, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with you. And like, they like each other, like they've had each other's backs from the get-go. And when Ted died, Booster like knew the rules of time. He couldn't stop his friend's death. And I know there's a whole episode of Brave and the Bold that does that and kind of encapsulates his and Booster's friendship. But like Booster knew from the get-go that he couldn't stop. Like, as much as he wanted to, I can't change. That's a fixed point in time. I can't change it. But what he did do was become like a friend. He took Jaime under his wing and was just like, hey, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna turn out okay. And when Ted came back, Booster was all like, bro! So I love the friendship between the two of them. So there's number 9. Number 8, Thor and Hercules. Technically, they're family. They are related. They have this. They are technically related through blood, but the two of them act like the two. Like you have one. You probably have one in your family where you have the dumb cousin. Like you and your cousin are the close one. You have a cousin that is close and has always got your back. That's Thor and Hercules. Hercules adores Thor and sees him as like a brother. Thor sees him as like the great college friend, but there are times where even Thor's like, Herc, man, I got a lot going on. Can we just not? And Hercules is just like, come, let us enjoy the libations of women and drink tonight. You need a night out. So the two of them have been again, they are related, but that doesn't mean like. And I don't think that takes away from the friendship of the two of them, because even before they found out they were related, the two of them basically were like, "Hey, I'm go like, hey, I'm your bro. Like, let's just bro out, like, be college dudes. So Thor and Hercules at number 8. Number 7. Number 7 is another one that is kind of, I find it underrated because you wouldn't believe these two were friends, but because they would try to kill each other a lot. And that's Deadshot and Catman from Secret Six. Deadshot and Catman started out as rivals. The two of them basically were essentially like, hey, we're working together, and but that don't mean we're not going to try to kill each other, and they do. But Thomas Blake and Floyd Lawton, the two of them form an actual friendship. Like, Floyd actually calls at one point Thomas his brother, and even then they still try to kill each other because it's like, it's just in our nature, dude. We're who we are. But I do like that. I do like that the two of them have this kind of dichotomy between the two of them that just makes them go, why are we friends? Why are we friends? But they still, because they're like, there's no one else to go to but each other. So I really like the two of them. It's another underrated friendship. So Deadshot and Catman. What, you didn't think I'd have villains on here? Next up, we're now at number 6. And at number 6, number 6 is another one that I don't think people talk about a lot of, but forget that these guys are actually like close friends. And that is, and this character is going to show up twice, but I had to talk about this friendship. One character is going to show up twice in the friendships, but don't worry, we're going to get to him later. But at number 6, it's Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. I think people forget that Stephen and Peter have a lot of respect for each other. Peter and Stephen are a mixture of science and magic, but the two of them have a lot of respect for each other. And Stephen respects Spider-Man. He's one of the few superheroes out there in the superhero community who's like literally been like up to bat for Spider-Man, like for Peter. He's like, he at some points he's even like at Tony's like, Tony, why do you hate him so much? Why do you pick on him? Like, Peter, like, he's one of those few superheroes that doesn't fall into the curse of, I see Spider-Man as a joke and I'm not going to respect him. Whereas Stephen has like seen the true colors of Spider-Man and been like, that is a true hero. And Peter has always seen Stephen as like a rational human being. And while he doesn't like understand magic, he's also like, yeah, I leave it up to him. He's the expert on that. And he's the go-to guy. I remember vaguely there's a comic where like Peter like was web slinging and he just couldn't get back to his apartment, and he just came to like Greenwich Village and was just like, he knocked on the door, was like, Doc, can I just stay the night, man? I can't make it. And he's like, oh, sure, just watch where you sleep. You might end up in another dimension. Thank you. So you are going to see Spider-Man again in this list, but I really wanted to have this character on the list. Like, I really wanted to talk about Spider-Man and Doctor Strange's friendship. Anyway, moving on now to number 5. At number 5, you have got Green Lantern, and you got Hal Jordan and Oliver Queen. The hard traveling heroes, one might say. Oliver and Hal are like, it's so weird because the comic literally just was hard traveling heroes who were basically like, hey, these characters aren't really selling well, so we'll just put them together. So that was kind of the idea. I really like how they both have these ideals. Like, Hal used to be very conservative, and of course Ollie's been liberal, but here the two of them have essentially formed like a bond of brotherhood where Oliver and Hal have both seen like the afterlife and come back changed, and they really kind of depended on each other at some point in those cases. Oliver has always had Hal's back, and likewise Hal has had Oliver's back, and the two of them have seen so much of the world and the galaxy that they basically You know, they both have an understanding that the world is bigger than us. Does that make any sense? Anyway, moving on now to number 4. And at number 4, did you think I wasn't going to put this on the list? Right? You didn't think I'd put this on the list? Of course, Luke Cage and Iron Fist. The two of them, again, two characters who weren't selling well and now became friends, and you can't help but not love their friendship. These two have been like thick as thieves. Danny and Luke have always had each other's backs, although I have noticed that Marvel is splitting them apart more and more, and I don't like that. Like, I genuinely don't like the idea of them getting rid of Dan. It feels like Danny and Luke just don't want to be around each other anymore, and it bothers me. And maybe I just missed something, but yeah, it just feels like Marvel's not really into their friendship anymore, but it's been like a core tenet of the two of them. Anyway, number 3, we're now at number 3. And at number 3, we're back with Spider-Man, with Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. I was thinking of like putting just Johnny Storm. No, I've done a whole video talking about how Peter is part of the family. He, like the Fantastic Four, again, much like with Doctor Strange, he is basically like one of the Fantastic Four basically view him as part of the family. They go up to bat for him. Like Reed has stood up to other superheroes, being like, "Don't pick on him. He's a valued member." Johnny and Peter view each other like brothers. Like the two of them have been going out of their way. It's like, yeah, he's my brother. Sue sees him as a, trusted ally and a good friend that she will check in on. And Ben really, Ben loves another New Yorker, and Reed is one of the few people who not only like defends Spider-Man from everyone else, but also like he views Peter as a fellow scientist. It's not like with Tony who looks down on him. With him, Peter, he's like with Peter, he's like, when Spider-Man like crawls into the like Reeves' lab, he's like, "Oh, you wouldn't understand." He's like, "Oh, Peter, hi, come down here. I want to show you something. I want to get your opinion on this." Yeah, he views him as like a equal. He views Peter as like an equal scientist. Yeah, and again, I have to stress the entirety of the Fantastic Four view him as a member of the family. Like when Johnny died, Johnny insisted, like in a last will, that Spider-Man take his place. He has been invited to Thanksgiving. He's been to Christmas with them. They love him. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. But yeah, that's my number 3. Next up at number 2. At number 2, we got the world's finest, Superman and Batman. Like, how could I not have Superman and Batman on this list, right? Like, there was no way I wasn't going to have Clark and Bruce on here. They're the original superhero team, a team together. Bruce is the pessimist, but he believes in Clark. And likewise, Clark sees everything good, but he also understands Batman's view on everything. The two of them have seen each other as siblings again. Like, the two of them are the closest of allies. Like when Superman, he's always said, like, in case I go rogue, Batman's the guy to stop me. And Bruce has even said, if I ever went rogue, I know for a fact if anyone could stop me, it's Superman. So they trust each other enough to know if they went over the line, the other could take them out. I love when the two of them are just broing out and just have it like a normal conversation. They have had each other's backs and are the pillars of the DC universe. But you're probably wondering, that's number 2, Multi. Who's the number 1? I'm glad you asked, because my number 1 friendship in comics is Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson. Yeah, Matt and Foggy have literally have always been the best of friends. No matter what, Daredevil and Foggy have, no matter how many times they've split away from each other or argued or been like, I don't want to see you again, they always find a way to come back to each other because they have held each other's, they've had secrets, they've fought against the Kingpin both in the streets and in the court. They are basically inseparable. And I always think about this one story from Superior Iron Man, where like Tony, who was still kind of corrupted after Axis. It's a long story. But basically, he fixes Daredevil's eyes, and Daredevil's like, I don't want this. This is awful. And Tony's like, cool, fuck you, and shuts it off. But as he's losing his sight, he runs back to the office and sees Foggy for the first time. And he's like, that's awesome. So yeah, that they are just like, they are the best of friends, no matter what. They will always care for each other like siblings, more than I think anyone else on this list. So there you go, guys. That is my top 10 favorite friendships in comics. You guys tell me in the comments below, what are your top 10 friendships in comics? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.